What's good, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I am Harrison Sanford. A bunch to get into today, as a bunch of NBA players have gotten paid recently. De'Aaron Fox, Luka Doncic. What does that mean for LeBron James? What does that mean for the future of the San Antonio Spurs? And speaking of paid, big money being spent in the W as well. What does that mean for Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, and the rest of the women of the W? We'll get into that in just a moment. But first and foremost, we did promise a little bit more detail into the life of Danny Green in the last episode. So, Danny, can you tell us how's week 2, week 3?
Yeah, we're only like 10, 11 days
going now. Yeah, week 2.
It's not bad, man. I will say, when you're more, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I'm saying we're not veterans, but we're definitely more mature in this game. So we kind of know what we're doing. So it makes it, some people say it's easier each kid. Some people say it gets crazier. I think, we're definitely more experienced. We're by no means saying we're professionals and we're not veterans yet, but we're solid. We're not novices. We're not rookies. We're probably year 2 or 3 year player. Like I'm saying, you come to the league, you're third or fourth year player type of player as a group. So it all depends on your help as well. We have pretty good help. We had her parents here for a little while. They left. The real test is when they're gone. We do have a night nurse. Our babysitter's been out of town, so that's been a little challenging. But all in all, everything's been pretty smooth. But before we got on, I was telling James, a producer, there's always something with kids, man. There's always some type of issue or something, not major, usually something small, hopefully not major. Sometimes there are major ones, but there's either a sickness or something I have to go to the hospital for, or a doctor's checkup. And we're dealing with that now. And it's like we have a bunch of doctor's appointments today because some of those things that could have been taken care of in the hospital weren't at the moment. So we had to schedule appointments afterward to go see a doctor or a hand specialist or this type of specialist, because they don't do all those things at the hospital anymore. But so far, week 2, it's been okay, man. We were doing pretty solid.
First, a couple of things, Danny, real quick. Number one, the petty in me, when the petty in me would record all of the things that I would be doing for my child, just so that when they get to like age,
so they would 13,
know, age 14, they start acting unruly. I'm like, look at what I was doing with your ass.
Yeah.
When
Honestly,
you were out of pocket at 3.
It's crazy that you brought this up and say this, because just the other day I was like, man, this is like a whole TV show in itself, that not by entertaining for everybody else, but for us when we get older, to watch it as parents and to let them know it's a thankless job. There's a lot of stuff that you do, bro, that they're going to forget, that it go unnoticed. People are not going to see. And it's like, we should be recording every day so that we know what the hell we did. And maybe one day the parenting world can relate and would want to know or see, but definitely our kids they don't know. And you know this when you have siblings that act differently towards your parents. I mean, we all acted differently to our parents, but when they say life changes an instant, when you have a kid, when you do, you look at your parents very differently. Like, oh snap, like y'all went through it for me. Like y'all did this. This is a part of raising me. And a lot of them don't understand that yet until they have kids. So, and recording all that and being the petty in you and showing them when they're like 17, 18, because a lot of them don't appreciate mom and dad, especially they don't realize what their mom went through to get them into this world. It's like, this is how your mom brought you into the world. That you ripped her body apart just for her to have you. So, and he doesn't know any better. He's still a kid, but he gives her a hard time sometimes. And she's like, you don't love me? You don't give hugs and kisses? And he's just like, no. And he has days where he just wants to play with dad, and some days he wants to just play with mom. But kids are kids. But it is good to have that file or that footage on file, so for later purposes.
Oh yeah, when they start acting up, I would definitely be that type of parent. Like, you disrespect in my absolutely not, absolutely not. Oh, I wouldn't be playing that. Anyways, I can get into more, but I wanted to get into this thing that we're trying to do here called Outta Pocket, where we kind of just go through the NBA headlines in a unique type of way. And so, Danny, let's get into the National Basketball Association. We saw news on Monday that De'Aaron Fox signed a 4-year, $229 million contract extension to stay with the San Antonio Spurs. Now, some people would say that's great. You got De'Aaron Fox in that trade that they made in the midseason. Getting him on the roster is a very good thing for the future of the San Antonio Spurs. And yet there are some, Danny, that would say there's no way the Spurs should be paying 4 years, $229 million for De'Aaron Fox when you have Stephon Castle, the reigning Rookie of the Year, and you just used the number 2 pick to get Dylan Harper. Is De'Aaron Fox a very good player? Yes, he is. Actually, former guest of the show. And we're going to show some love to De'Aaron Fox. Yet and still got to keep it real. 4 years, $229 million? Pretty expensive price tag. Too much, in my opinion, to bring in De'Aaron Fox when you have Castle, when you have Harper, and you don't have urgency to win a title this upcoming season. There should have been no financial pressure to make the deal happen, at least at that number. Out of pocket, Danny, the Spurs paid too much for De'Aaron Fox.
I think De'Aaron Fox is a very special player. I think he's really good. Does he have some injuries here and there? He's getting a little older. He's not even old, but I think he's really good. But fair point to what you're saying. They do have some backups. Lucky for them, these backups don't need to get paid for a while. Dylan Harper has some time before he has to get extended. I don't know when this kicks in for De'Aaron Fox, but Stephon Castle, he only did 1 year, another 3 years.
Well, it's only going to start next year. The contract extension numbers start kicking in at the end of this season.
At the end of next season?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you probably
this season happens his contract. So you have 2 years on Stephon Castle.
Probably 1 to 2 years of overlap with both of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, that's the good part is that you got these guys. I won't even say cheap because number 2 picks are making still good money.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so is Stephon Castle, who was also a lottery pick. But yes, De'Aaron Fox, even being a special player, I think this is I wouldn't say a bit much. They could have found, you traded for him. He would have gotten this in Sacramento. So you traded for him. I'm surprised that he didn't try to push for extension right away and try to get 5 years max. So with the numbers that's happened in the NBA, man, this seems fair. But if you're trying to keep all those young, good pieces together with Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, Jeremy Sohan, you still got Vassell there, Keldon Johnson, and of course Wemby. With that core, it's going to be hard to keep all of them. And with this move right here, somebody has to get moved or somebody won't be extended at some point. And they're thinking that toward the end of this Castle, Dylan Harper tenure, they're going to have to make a decision on all 3 of them. So they're going to have to move De'Aaron Fox and get off him or not extend one of those guys and see with the free market and let one of them go. But yes, a lot of money in today's world, but it's a norm now in the NBA. So good for De'Aaron Fox. Happy for him, man. My Spurs got a good player, and I think I'm still waiting to see how him and Wemby look together. So to me, I'm more surprised at the timing of it. It's like, let's see what they look like together. Let's see how well they mesh together, because this might not be a great 2-man connection. And 4 years is a big commitment to do that without knowing what it looks like.
Well, yeah. Well, number one, at that number, it does seem like a lot. But Danny, you were in the league when Mike Conley signed that big contract. And it looked like Mike Conley signed for too much money. Then everybody surpasses the next player. So yeah. As time goes, the money doesn't look as ridiculous. And I think that will happen in the case of De'Aaron Fox. That's number one. But then also number 2 as well, and we could spend a little bit of time talking about it. That's also kind of the price of doing business when you make a midseason trade for a guy whose contract is up anyway. When you make the trade for De'Aaron Fox, you, as a franchise, the San Antonio Spurs, okay, they can't say it. It's like a CBA violation if they say it. But I think we all know this. Let's just keep it real. If you trade for De'Aaron Fox, a guy who's going into the last year of his deal, and you give up any significant type of capital, you are expected to. It's expected and understood that contract extension is already negotiated before you make the deal. Think of Pascal Siakam. Yeah. When the Pacers traded for Pascal Siakam, he's going into last year of his deal, and then he ended up signing for the deal. We knew
you have no choice. You got to offer him. You got to offer him.
You knew exactly. So even if the Spurs didn't know they were going to get the number 2 pick in the draft. No. If they knew they were going to get the number 2 pick in the draft, there's no. One would believe they wouldn't have made the trade for De'Aaron Fox. They would have just bit the bullet. But now you made the trade for De'Aaron Fox. You quote unquote kind of it's understood that you probably had an agreement with Rich Paul of all people to pay him that bread. You pay him that bread. That's the price. That is the price of doing business. Sometimes it does well for you, like or sometimes basketball guys do well for you, like you getting Victor Wembanyama and Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle in the draft. And sometimes the basketball gods are against you. You made a deal and you did it you didn't know that you would have such fortune. So it is what it is. This is no shade on De'Aaron Fox. Great player. I just think it's going to look suspect to pay him that much when you also have Harper and Castle.
For sure.
Good roster nonetheless.
Great roster nonetheless. I said basketball guys a good way to put it, because some of them, Dallas didn't know they were going to get the number 1 pick. You know, some people land and get lucky. And it's a good problem to have, I'd say. When you have too much talent, you just have to pay some money. And from my understanding, San Antonio is one of those teams that stayed out of the luxury tax for some time. So they can afford it, I feel like, at this moment, at this juncture.
All right. Number 2, Luka Doncic also signed a contract extension. I believe the number's on that 3 years, $186 million. Getting rich, getting richer by the moment. Richie. I think I had sent out this tweet. Nobody's had a better summer than Luka Doncic. The man's lost like 20 plus pounds and he's millions of dollars richer. It was announced on Friday that he signed a contract extension. Then on Saturday at the Lakers practice facility, he had a press conference. Well, during the press conference, everybody noticed that one person or 2 people weren't there. One, LeBron James. It was seen that LeBron James was actually golfing later on during that Saturday morning. It was also reported by Mark Stein, the longtime NBA reporter, that LeBron did congratulate Luka. He just did it via FaceTime. Nothing on the socials, wasn't at the press conference, but he did it apparently during the morning. He was not at the facility because he and Bronny were golfing. Out of pocket real quick, Danny. I'm going to say it. Golfing is overrated.
Hey, I'm right there with you right now, because I'm not in that phase of life. I just don't have the time or patience, and it does cost quite a bit of money to golf. This is something Bron just picked up, and who knows? I don't know.
And and it was like really foggy where he was too. Like you can't even see the ball.
That's part of the game, with challenge that gives people this rush. You know what I'm saying? Like some people like to ski, some people like to snowboard, some people like to golf. There's different types of things in this world that give guys, a great feel or relaxation or whatever it is. To me, it's a frustrating sport, and I don't like to do things that I'm not good at, especially something that's that frustrating. So you spend a lot of money to look crazy, to look awkward, and not be good at something. It doesn't seem sensible. So yes, golf to me right now, until I get some lessons and get a swing and learn how to do it, it is overrated as well. But, Bron is on this golf kick right now. He's learning some things. He might have had a commitment or appointment of being somewhere and playing his 18 holes. And we didn't know his press conference was coming up. So they probably had this booked already. He's spending time with his son. It's his summertime. He's earned that. Now, Bronny James could be a debate of what he's earned. And that's why Dan Patrick spoke on it, that, he should have been there. And maybe so, but he's spending time with his dad. I think they both are very much in their own right to have a day of golf together and not be criticized for not showing up to a press conference in the summertime. But all in all, great move for the Lakers. Congratulations to Luka. He looks good. I hope he stays good. The biggest thing for him is being consistent. And we've seen him past summers get in pretty good shape. Maybe not this good a shape, but it's like, oh, he looks great. He looks slim. Come back to regular season, they're like, oh, he's not moving well. He's in slow. He looks out of shape. Injury happened, so he wasn't able to run. It was his ankle or this or that. Hopefully he can stay healthy to where he doesn't, lose this progression and lose this ground. But this is a good deal on both sides. Obviously he lost quite a bit of money leaving Dallas, but he's making some good money in LA now. He's got this extension. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder to prove a lot of people wrong, especially the Mavericks, that you can win with him and that he can play defense. That's what great players do. They step up to the plate when challenged and when criticized. And I think he's learning the most of that being alongside LeBron James. And I think that's where he benefits the most in this trade. So, Lakers are in a good situation. They have a great foundation with him for the next 5 to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? At least the next 5 years, which is going to be good.
All right. I want to go through a couple more other headlines here. And I know things we got to kind of move kind of quick here because you got to go. All right. Another one, Danny. Speaking of fitness, James Harden was seen out during his Asia tour, not looking in the best of shape. Now, let's keep it real here. We just spent time talking about Luka, and you said he should, you mentioned his physique. And then James Harden, he's in Asia. Last year, he had one of his best seasons, I would say, in a very long time. He was third NBA, all NBA third team. Out of pocket or not, off-season physique criticism or compliments is overrated.
No.
Because you see, hey Danny, I've seen videos with Ben Simmons looking in the best shape possible.
Yeah.
What does that translate to? I've seen James Harden look out of shape, and then you put the ball on the ground and do it.
Same with Luka. He's still gonna get bucket, but it is a part of you. So
out of pocket or not, off-season critique, off-season evaluations of players' physique is exactly.
No, it's not out of pocket. It's 100%. All criticisms are open and allowed. When you're a professional and they pay you a lot of money, and some guys can get in shape quickly, and some guys can't. But you got to know not everybody can do what everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, luckily for Luka, he's fortunate enough. He's still young enough to where it don't matter what kind of shape he is, and he can still get a bucket. So can James. But not everybody can be those guys. But when it comes down to when you're getting older and you have health issues, people are going to look at these things. It's going to come back to these things. If you're not taking care of your body in the summertime, this is why guys in the 80s had issues. They like to drink and party in the summertime and didn't take care of the body. Larry Bird, some guys would get overweight or you have injuries and he couldn't get off of, certain things because of how they partied in the summertime. So as a professional, you're supposed to be held to a standard. They're investing a lot of money in you. And I'm sure that these organizations are wanting to send guys out to help you or work with you or work out with you. Every offseason where I was at, they were like, send guys to New York, or if I was in Santa Barbara, we're going to send our strength and conditioning coach. Make sure you're staying on top of your workout plan and also staying healthy. If you have injuries, we're going to make sure we're taking care of those things. When an organization invests this much money into you, and they may not say it publicly, but you damn well better be prepared to be openly criticized about it from networks or media heads and other organizations. So everybody's seeing all that, and it's fair game. As a professional, you're supposed to be in shape at all times when you're on roster, when you have a job, when they're paying you a check. And yes, some guys can get away with it more than others, but that doesn't make it acceptable.
All right, let's keep going here. So Dame Lillard is now the general manager of Weber State, his former school.
Congrats, Dame.
Former college, and obviously Dame Lillard now a member of the Portland Trailblazers, making upwards, I believe, of $70 million between his buyout money with the Milwaukee Bucks and the new 3-year contract that he has signed with the Portland Trailblazers. Congratulations to Dame. Good on you. And Danny, I think you as a family man now, maybe his move from Milwaukee to Portland does resonate with you. But if we go back to what you and I discussed, and I know I at least pointed it out, I thought the shrewd move for Dame Lillard would have been not to sign a contract and then go out in the open market and see what team could be the most ideal for him to join, because you want to see how the season plays out. But at the same time, he's going to be rehabbing. But at the same time, and still, Danny, I kind of say Dame shouldn't have signed that contract. He was going to be in Portland anyway, at least not for 3 years. I think Dame Lillard is going to say, maybe by the end of this NBA season, I was out of pocket. Your thoughts?
No, I don't think he'll regret it one iota. Like, I as a fan, as a player,
when he's watching the NBA finals, and let's just say, I'm just gonna throw a team. The Orlando Magic said to Dame during the summer, "Hey, bro, you could work out. You could stay in Portland the entirety of the season if you want, and rehab there. You could come and join us whenever you want. But if we're in the playoffs, you could join us, and we'll pay you $14 million. That is a real possibility, right? There's some team in the NBA that's going to be in the finals that probably offered Dame Lillard and probably also told him he could stay in Portland. Do you not think at that point he's going to be like, damn, I was out of pocket for signing the 3-year deal with the Trailblazers?
No, I still say no. But because I think there's a very short list of teams that offered him that's going to be in the final. Like, the teams that's going to be in the finals, OKC, to me, Boston was one of them. Obviously, Boston broke up now, but, the East is wide open. The New York Knicks, you think the Knicks offered him? Cleveland Cavaliers, think the Denver Nuggets offered him? Like, the top teams, to me, Houston Rockets, I don't think the teams that offer him, especially what he's looking for, he's a valuable player still. And they probably offered him minimum. At this point, he's missing his family. He wants to rehab. He's more respected. He looked at himself. His legacy wouldn't be as respected of him chasing, a ring, being a third option. Or we don't know what he's going to look like coming back after this Achilles. Obviously, he's got the tattoo of him shooting down Achilles. I know he's going to attack this rehab unbelievably, and he's going to overcome this challenge. But even coming back healthy, we don't know what a healthy Damian Lillard after an Achilles injury looks like. He doesn't know either. And when he comes back, if he's not himself, which we all know he's not going to be 100% himself, he is probably at best a third option for most teams. Do you respect Dame Lillard getting a championship ring as a third or fourth option? Or even as a role player?
That's a topic for another day. I didn't know you were producing the show now. That's a topic for another day. I wasn't ready for that
what he's seeing. It's like, all right, look, me ring chasing right now and trying to be on a team where I'm not even going to play next year. So that's another year added. So he's going to be 37 by the time he comes back, and then chasing a ring. He's going to be, he don't want to be, the Karl Malone, Gary Payton and the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? That older person to be, not the guy and win one. Obviously, those guys are still greats and still respected, and nobody takes away from their championship or not getting one when they went there. But if they were to get one in LA, Gary Payton ended up getting one in Miami later on. But say the Lakers won a championship with Karl Malone and Gary Payton. Do you respect Karl Malone's championship as much? Because his legacy doesn't, I don't think it moves the needle. So with that all being said, go home, spend time with your family, get your bread, bro, be respected, retire a Trailblazer. I'm cool with that. You've done a lot. You've done enough for the city. You've done enough for the league. And if you feel like you getting a ring elsewhere is not going to change your legacy, then don't give up another $50 million that you could, adding $50 million to the revenue is, all right, I'm going to take the $50 million instead of the legacy of getting a ring and being a minimum guy on OKC or Indiana Pacers and go that route. So I'm okay with it. I don't think he's ever going to, when you get to spend time with your kids and be with your family, you don't regret a damn thing. So I don't see him regretting this at all.
Last one. The WNBA is having a bit of a situation here. They are definitely having a valuation. They're definitely seeing a season of growth financially, and the valuations are skyrocketing. This past weekend, there was a report that the Mohegan Sun Group has approved the sale of the team to to a Boston area group that would move the team from Connecticut to Boston for the price of $325 million. To give it some scope, the new the expansion franchises that are expected to enter the WNBA in Cleveland, in Detroit, and in Philadelphia by 2030, the expansion fee that they paid to join the league was $250 million. The team moving from Connecticut to Boston would come in at $325 million. There are some things to consider, though, because the WNBA has the right to force the team to sell to somebody who wants to keep the team in Connecticut. There are rumors that Mark Lasry, I believe the name is, or I don't want to get the name wrong, but there's rumors that the Milwaukee Bucks, members of the ownership group there, want to buy the Connecticut Sun and keep them in Connecticut. Maybe they don't have to pay the $325 million to stay in Connecticut, but nonetheless, they would have to pay. That leaves, this is what I'm getting to, the WNBA with the opportunity to sell the expansion fee to be in a market like Boston at over $325 million. Maybe the expansion fee now could be $500 million. That's how much the New York Liberty are evaluated at now. And if you consider Boston and if you consider Houston, those are new teams that could be coming into the league as well and having to pay big time dollars in order to get in. Just for reference, Danny, back in 2022, the Atlanta Dream, I believe, were bought for $10 million.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
$10 million. With that being said, I'd have to make this an out-of-pocket statement or not. Out of pocket, the WNBA having any team in any market going forward that's not named Houston. Wasn't this the city that had Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, the Houston Comets, the three-peat squad? How in the world, how did we end up with a team in Philadelphia without a team in Houston? How did we end up with a team in Toronto?
Yeah,
without a team in Houston, and we know we love Toronto around this side.
Yes, we do.
A team in Detroit.
Yeah,
and not a team in Houston. What's going on here?
The priorities seem a little out of sorts. So yes, I'm gonna say this is out of pocket. I think all around out of pocket because this money that they're using to move a team, they can expand on even more teams. Like getting the 3 cities you said, it only still expands them to 15 teams. Why not just keep the teams where they are and build a team in that city or other cities? You can get another 3 more teams, which there's a bunch of other women.
I think that's going to end up happening. But I think the number is what's interesting is like just the fact that somebody said we'll pay $325 million to move the team.
Yeah.
Now it would be interesting because now that's all. We could talk about this for a long time, but if the W says no, we don't want you to move your team, we'd rather create a new team, then how you tell that ownership group, Danny, I'm sorry, you can't get that $325 million that your team is worth. Imagine that. I would be tight. I would be tight. Like if I own the Connecticut Sun and I got $325 million offer, I'm gonna do what I want. Like, I got $325 million. You're gonna tell me I can't move my team?
Yeah,
that's not my team anymore. That's how I will give you the floor. I'm sorry, but I'd be tight.
I'm with you, bro. It just seems a little ass backwards of how things are being done in all fields of sports. Sometimes you're like, why are they doing it this way? Like, why not take the proper steps? Why skip steps? And why? How can you tell somebody they can't do this or what they can and can do with their money or their organization? It's part of the world. Life's not fair, you know. Like, so it kind of a lot of these things that happen comes back to those type of statements. But I really do hope they figure this out where that there are, because I know a bunch of ladies that are home that are very talented and deserve to be on a roster. And I hope this expansion happens before they start moving teams. I hope more teams get created before they start spending this type of money on doing things like this. So it only shows to me that the league is growing. It's in a great space. I hope it continues to grow. I just hope they make the right decisions when moving forward as this league continues, to be in the space that it is, or it continue to be in a space that we've never seen it before. So interesting topics, interesting ways of going about things. But the W is coming, man, and it's showing some real good future, some real good potential. And I said, I hope to see one day soon when you and I have our kids growing up, if we have daughters, have the opportunity to play for one of these teams, or to have multiple options to play, because there's not enough teams right now for all these talented young ladies out there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be part of the things that are discussed in the new CBA for the W. Danny, it's crazy, and shout out to the women; they're pretty smart. 2026, when after the CBA is up October 31st of this upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
So there's obviously going to be a lot of heavy debate about a lot of things, particularly the revenue sharing, where the players are only making up to 9% of the revenue share. Only two veteran players in the W are under contract starting next season. Essentially, everybody's set themselves up to be a free agent in the summer of 2026. All the players did that because they knew that they were going to opt out, and they knew that they're going to be fighting for a new standard.
How many players is that? That's got to be like 200 something players, right? 200 players? Probably about 200 players.
Right? I don't know the exact number, but yeah, almost every player.
Wow. Yeah, it's like 150 players.
Only 2 veteran players do not have it.
Wow.
Shall be fascinating.
One band, one sound, work as a unit. Good for them. Smart.
One band, one sound. I like that. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. This has been Inside the Green Room. Danny Green, Harrison Sanford. Danny, tell them what to do.
Read, rate, subscribe, review. Peace.